then for the first time I thought that, you know, you can die from this. My name is Silviya, and I used to have bulimia for about 5 years. Now I'm fully recovered and I feel happy. I live my healthy, happy life.
What exactly is bulimia?
Bulimia it's bulimia nervosa. It's a life-threatening eating disorder. It could be life-threatening. And it's characterized by cycles of binge eating and purging. And purging methods, you know, most people think that people with bulimia mostly are vomiting, like they vomit, they are throwing up their food. I used to think the same way, but it's not necessarily true. Some purging methods can be like laxative abuse, dieting, fasting, even the excessive exercising could be a purging method. And the idea behind all this is just to get rid of the extra calories that you eat with the binge eating crisis.
When did you realize you have bulimia?
I'm not sure, if I have to be honest. I didn't realize till the end that it was actually bulimia. I knew that I have an eating disorder. I knew that there was something wrong with me because I didn't have a normal life. It was happening to me, like those binge eating episodes, and after that non-stop dieting. I didn't like myself. I hated my body. And I knew it was eating disorder probably from the beginning, but I didn't know that it's called bulimia. Once I started to try to recover, I find out that this is actually called bulimia.
What do you think triggered this?
When I was a teenager, I used to be a model or some kind of, and after that I gained weight. And from the agency that I was working for, they told me, girl, you need to lose weight if you want to continue working with us. For a teenager, this could be very harmful, you know. And also, the other kids at school can be very, very evil. After that, I remember I was on one work and travel program in USA. And actually there was my first binge eating crisis. I think it was because I felt a lot of pressure and stress back there, because I had to work all the time, like without a day off. And from the morning till the evening, yeah, I was working non-stop.
How was your body reacting after binge eating?
It was not nice, actually, because you feel that you're blowing, you feel that your stomach is aching, you don't have energy, actually. There are a lot of cold and hot waves going through your body. But probably the most awful thing after that was the guilt, the emotion that you feel that you failed again, that you, not only that you're not enough, but you know, you suck. Come on, you did that again. You have to go on another diet, you have to restrict your food again, because you're going to gain a lot of weight. And yeah.
How often did the crises happen?
Like 2 or 3 times a week. You know, for the medical standards to have bulimia, you have to have crisis 2 times per week for at least 3 months.
Did you tell anyone about this?
Well, no, not really. I have tried to, but it was very difficult for me to do that because I was super ashamed and no.
Now, looking back at it, do you think you should have told anyone?
Probably yes, because the first time I told somebody about this was when I was already almost at the finish line, almost recovered. And, you know, I told my psychotherapist about this, and she was like, oh, it's okay, you had bulimia. Like, whatever. You're not the first one, you're not gonna be the last one. So it's something super normal. It's not you that you're wrong, but it's, yeah. And it's kind of relieving just to know that you're not alone. So probably yes, it would be better if you have someone to tell, but you have to be very careful because maybe, I don't know, not every people would understand and will be ready to support you, because it's not an easy topic.
Do you remember your worst crisis?
I do. Actually, it was my that moment when I realized that I need to recover. It was an awful day at work. I knew that what is going to happen because, you know, all the binge eating crises, they're after some kind of bad emotions that you feel. So I get back home after work and I binged, but this time it was so terrible. I couldn't stop. You know, I don't know if you know, but the binge eating crisis, they are very uncontrollable. You don't have the power. I mean, it's like you're just obsessed. You know that what you do is not right, but still you cannot stop it. I mean, you don't have the power to stop it. And after that, I remember that it was so bad. I was lying on the floor. I was super scared because then for the first time I thought that, you know, you can die from this. I thought that my stomach had burst. I was super afraid. I thought that I need to call an ambulance or I don't know. I didn't. I was super ashamed. But then was the time when I promised to myself I will do anything to recover.
What were the steps you took to overcome this?
At the beginning, I started journaling. I started reading a lot of books. I mean, I started doing all the things that it's written in the books to do it. And not everything worked for me. Like journaling was not my thing for sure. In most of the books, it was written that you just change your mindset and it will go away just overnight. It was not my case for sure. I needed like 1 year to fight with this thing, and it was not like a straight line. It was with a lot ups and downs. Like I promised to myself that I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not going to binge again. But after a few days, bam, I did it again. I was out of control, and it was happening again and again and again. It was not, and I now understand that it was just part of the process. These were the steps that I needed to take, and it's okay. I mean, the first and most important thing that I did to overcome it was to stop dieting, to stop purging. I throw away all the laxatives. I stopped doing those exercising and workouts that were too hard for me. I continued to work out, but only 2 or 3 times a week. And also I stopped dieting. I started to eat normally, or at least try to, with breakfast, lunch, and dinner without any restrictions.
What was your biggest fear?
that I'm not going to make it, that I'm not going to overcome it, that I'm going to be fat forever, that I'm going to gain even more weight, and I will continue not to be enough.
Did you actually gain weight?
Through the recovery, yes. If I have to be honest, I gained a lot of weight. I mean, like, for 5 months or so, constantly gaining weight. It was like the biggest nightmare ever was coming true.
Did anyone around you notice this and start treating you differently, maybe?
Actually, no. It's important here for all the people out there to mention that nothing else changed, except that I needed to buy some more clothes, one size bigger. But everything else in my life was the same, like even better than before, because I was not restricting myself and I was not thinking constantly about food or calories or things like that. You know, all my friends were absolutely the same with me. They were loving me the same way, treating me the same way, and yeah, nothing else changed. But actually, just after a few months, I lost all the additional weight because I normalized my eating behavior.
Do you remember your last binge eating crisis?
I do. It was actually not a real binge eating crisis. You know, most of the people, it's super different for everybody what the binge eating crisis is. It could be defined in different ways for everybody. So for some people it could be 2 pizzas, 2-3 chocolates, 5 packages of chips, and a lot of food, really a lot of food. But for the other people, it could be just a piece of cake after a nice dinner, let's say. So in my case, the path that I was going through, in the end, was mostly like the second type. I mean, and back there, I remember I needed an ice cream, so I thought that I'm going to just buy myself an ice cream and eat it, and I'm going to binge eat, because I was at that period that I was already aware that I'm going through this. I have bulimia, I have binge eating episodes, and I need to accept it and go with it, with the flow. And I went out, I bought myself ice cream, and while I was eating, I thought, come on, Silviya, it's just an ice cream. It's not a real binge eating crisis. People are doing this all the time. It's super normal. And I remember that this was the time when I understood that I won.
Do you have anything to say for people that might be going through such thing right now?
Yeah. It is not an easy path to go, but there is a path, and the recovery is absolutely possible. I believe the full recovery is absolutely possible. I did that. Just I want to tell them that it's not a straight line, as I said before. There are a lot of ups and downs, and you're not gonna just wake up one day and be healed. It's not gonna happen. You have to just stick to your promise to yourself that you are going to overcome it. And even if you face another episode, to face another crisis, it's okay. It's just path and step from the recovery. So don't give up. It's possible. You just have to be strong and to continue.
How can people get in touch with you?
I have a website, a blog, overcomebulimia.com. Also, of course, they can find me in Facebook, Instagram. I'm open. I know how hard it is going through such periods, so it's always better if you have someone who can talk to.
You know what you have to do right now.
Yeah. See you in the next one. Ciao.
Браво, машина!